Warning! The following podcast contains strong language which some listeners may find offensive. If you do,
Up yours! That's only if you don't listen to the podcast. Otherwise, not up yours.
did you know the Untitled Wrestling Podcast is on all of the social media outlets? Give us a like, follow, share, subscribe, or even a review if you're feeling generous. Facebook and YouTube at Untitled Wrestling Podcast, Twitter, Twitch and Discord at Untitled Rest Pod.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Untitled Wrestling Podcast. It is Tuesday, you know what that means. It is me, your boy, Big Tasty, joined as always by Faye. How's it going, Faye?
Yeah, we're going good. Just on the countdown now, almost 2 weeks.
To Japan or to Christmas? Or both?
To Japan.
Fair. And Jay, how's it going, Jay?
Yes, Christmas is considerable closer. It is actual 2 weeks.
Yeah, it is actually, because we're recording this on Monday, and peel back the kayfabe curtain. Sarah's just moving the tree behind me on the Zoom call. Tree in a box. We haven't put the tree up yet because, yeah, time. What is time?
12 days before.
12 days before. When? Oh, so that's like tomorrow.
That's when you put in.
I can't do midweek though. It's a whole thing, isn't it? You know.
Saying. Only meant to put it up apparently.
Oh right, okay.
Before and 12 days after.
If we did it like this weekend, it wouldn't be too bad.
No.
That's alright then. We've got the tree up in the brewery, so if no one's ever been to the brewery and you can't come this year because we're not doing Christmas tap room because I'm just too tired, we put wrestling figures on our Christmas tree, and my mum, without knowing he was relevant, put Edge on top of the tree.
Nice.
Love that.
Which she was like, shit. What about this guy? Is he good? And I was like, actually, that's really good timing because he's just like made his big debut, and she was like, oh, brilliant.
You'd think she'd know him.
Yeah, she would. Yeah. But yeah, I'm scared that Christian's gonna come to my brewery and like beat my dad up and make me his son, which would be actually quite nice.
I wish Christian was my father.
Before we get into speaking of Christian, and somewhere Christian spent a lot of time. How's that for a segue? We're gonna start. Well, not a lot of time. He spent a bit of time. We need to do Christian in TNA at one point. I need to get brave enough to watch Tyson Tomko wrestle. That's the only thing holding me back.
Christian Coalition.
We're gonna start off.
Sound like made up words.
Though I assure you, they are assuredly real. Don't you worry. Tyson Tomko is real. He can hurt you.
No.
Anyway, before we get into all that, as you can hear from the despair emanating from Faye's side of the podcast, it's time for another thrilling episode of TNFaye. And it's
So-
good.
When me and Faye were at Atomic this week, which we'll talk about in a bit, Casey Payne come and saw us and literally just shouted TNFaye at Faye.
Amazing.
Not happy about this.
That is exactly how I want this segment to get over.
No.
So yeah, it's a big one this week. We're going to talk all about, depending on who you talk to, the very best ever or the very worst ever angle the TNA ever ran, which was, of course, Aces and Eights. Now I'm going to do this from memory because it is seared into my brain. So if I do get a few of the little minor details wrong, I do apologise. So Aces and Eights, Faye, are you aware first of all what Aces and Eights actually is?
No.
So in poker, Aces and Eights is allegedly the dead man's hand. It's mentioned in the song Motorhead. The song Ace of Spades from Motorhead. It's called the dead man's hand because apparently Wild Bill Hickok was holding that hand in a game of cards and who was shot and killed.
Okay.
So 2 aces, 2 eights. So what happened in TNA? Was this like 2011? I should have a documentary, like a documentation.
It was 2011. It was definitely deeply entrenched in the Hogan and Bischoff times.
Because it started. So it started in 2012 according to this. But if I remember, like a year before, people had been getting beaten up and had playing cards left on them backstage, and it was like a slow build.
Yeah,
Didn't Shannon Moore or someone get beaten up, like someone who nobody gave a fuck about?
Oh,
Who's Shannon Moore?
Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Jeff Hardy's tattoo artist.
He is in many ways the Accrington Stanley of professional wrestling.
Oh, tasty. Are you not excited for talking about Inking?
No, I never want to. I never want to think about thinking, let alone talk about them. They got so many tag team title shots, and the Motor City Machine Guns were right there.
Don't worry about it.
Oh,
Motor City Machine Guns didn't have Jesse Neal, mate.
Anyway, so basically, if you want the question, if you want to answer the big picture question, what was Aces and Eights? It was what happens when Eric Bischoff watches Sons of Anarchy and was like, I want to do that in wrestling.
Sons of Anarchy a thing then?
I think so. I think it was done at the time.
I believe Sons of Anarchy had been finished for about a year.
Oh right, okay. I mean, they did Joker Sting like 5 years after the Dark Knight, so don't worry. They're this was actually quite good going for them.
Okay.
Anyway, so it started out with basically Hulk Hogan, who at the time was TNA general manager, getting envelopes with, so this is the weird thing. He got envelopes like delivered to the TNA office, but it wasn't like actual playing cards. It was photographs of playing cards, which was really weird.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. And people were teasing like that something was coming. Like people were like these Aces and Eights cards are signifying like something's happening, something's coming. And then basically a load of masked fellas. So it's very much like what's going on. The reason I wanted to do this because it's very similar to what's going on currently in AEW. A lot of masked guys used to just turn up and beat people up, and there was like mysterious leaders with voice modulators, like delivering cryptic warnings.
Time.
Yeah, spooky times. So they turned up at Hardcore Justice 2012, attacked the Pope D'Angelo De Niro. He was legit injured, so it was a way to write him off screen. What's really upsetting as well is this all occurred during. All right, I know he's a bit of a dirtbag now. During the title reign of Austin Aries, who at this point was like red hot, and it sort of like overshadowed his like entire title run, which was kind of odd and weird. So yeah. I mean, I'm trying to read this. It's like word soup. So yeah, there was like weeks and weeks of them just turning up, beating up guys. You know, they were like kept getting in. Hulk Hogan was gonna like ban them from the arena. It was like a bit like Retribution as well. There was shades of that in there as well. Like they were like vigilantes.
They were trying to abduct Brooke Hogan, weren't they?
I mean, they tried to do so much shit.
That's weird. Bit like the Ministry in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, but like the bikers came before Undertaker decided he wanted to be a biker.
So a couple of key things that happened here. At No Surrender 2012 in September, Aces and Eights interfered in the final just before the final of the Bound for Glory series, injuring Jeff Hardy before he went on to face Bully Ray in the final. Bully Ray went on to win that match. I think. I can't even remember. Then they had a match. So again, this is the weird thing about wrestling. They had a match at Bound for Glory in October 2012 where two members of Aces and Eights who weren't named took on Sting and Bully Ray in a no DQ tag team match, and if they won, they got access to the Impact Zone, and if they lost, they had to leave TNA. They won because two other members of Aces and Eights interfered and helped them win. One was unmasked and turned out to be Devon, who had left TNA earlier that year.
Oh wow!
So you've got Devon and Bully Ray on opposite sides. This is a big thing. They then did some other shit. They were throwing a dart at a load of photographs of TNA wrestlers to pick the next victim, and it landed on Kurt Angle. He just
was he
lost.
Perk Angle at that point?
He was. Oh my god, was he Perk Angle at that point? He was the definition of half man, half drugs.
He looked like he'd seen so much shit.
Yeah. He was 2.5 years into the Hogan verse at this point. He was a breaking point.
Oh.
Oh, right, okay.
If you think the Jericho Megaverse is bad, Jesus wept. The Hogan Bischoff Megaverse.
Stop that.
Sorry, the Bischoff Ho Megaverse. That's what it was, wasn't
it? These are all awful words.
So next up, then, further down the line in October, there was another brawl where another member was unmasked, and it was Doc Gallows.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but he didn't even do any dick jokes because he was a scary biker man. So
yeah.
No sour boy.
No sour boy, no wanking jokes, no nothing.
This was before he even was tagging with Carl Anderson.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And his thing was he would hit people with a hammer, like a little hammer that he used to knock in nails.
So scary.
Yeah. Then a turning point. Doc defeated. He was known as DOC, the Director of Chaos. Doc Gallows defeated Joseph Park, who was Abyss without his mask, pretending to be. That's a whole thing we're going to talk about as well. Don't worry about it.
I can't wait to talk about Joseph Park.
I feel like the more you say, "Don't worry about it," the more worries I am then filled with.
That was actually good though. That was fun. We enjoyed that. Yeah, so Doc defeated Joseph Park. Devon lost to Kurt Angle. Roll into December. The next day, Frank go after Magnus. Oh, and now, in case this was all going too well and looking too good, now we're bringing in Garrett Bischoff. So Garrett Bischoff is, as it sounds, Eric Bischoff's son. He is a professional wrestler. Although in TNA he started out as a referee who wasn't known as Eric Bischoff's son. He was Jackson James, I think he was called.
Yeah.
And then he revealed himself to be Eric Bischoff's son as a big twist. But then he became basically a top. He became an over-pushed babyface, who was really quite bad at wrestling. Yeah,
that's not good.
So then, there was that when the ODB got handcuffed to the ring while Eric Young got beat up. That was a thing.
No, thank you.
Wes Briscoe appeared at some point as well, son of Gerald Briscoe. He started teaming with Garrett Bischoff, and they were basically what the Team Angle but worse.
And I thought that couldn't be a thing, but here we are.
Remember,
Team Angle was good.
Yeah, Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, great. Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff, not it. So next up, they tried to basically Asian H tried to recruit Mr. Anderson. Did he join? I can't remember if he did.
He did.
Yeah, which makes little sense based on what happened later. And then prior to Genesis 2013, so towards the end of December, another Asian H member was unmasked, and it was Mike Knox, or Nux as he was referred to.
Knox Tista.
Yeah. Not the worst thing you do in TNA. We'll get to that another time.
Oh, God. I'm terrified of all of this. It just fills me with so much dread. When you say, don't worry about that, and you'll learn about that later, I'm like, but do I have to?
Yeah, it's like a Christopher Nolan film, except all the twists are just worse storylines.
Oh, God.
Right, so then Genesis 2013, Ace and Eights, Mr. Anderson beats Samoa Joe, Devon beats Joseph Park, and Doc loses to Sting. As this is happening, there's a second storyline where Bully Ray and Brooke Hogan are in a relationship.
Because, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, so, and Austin Aries finds out about this, and he rats them out to Hulk Hogan because he's grassy. Austin Aries is a cop.
Austin Aries is definitely a fucking cop.
So then, on 17th of January 2013, they're going to have a wedding. Bully Ray and Brooke Hogan are going to get married.
Wrestling weddings go so well, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. They got Tommy Dreamer in to be, and they got Spike Dudley in to be Bully's groomsman, which was pretty cool.
I mean, you say It wasn't bad, and then you instantly said Tommy Dreamer, which means that's like an absolute paradox in itself, mate. Come on.
True. So then, during as the matches as the wedding's about to happen, Taz just starts. Taz is like, "Oh, before you start, Taz is there in a suit. He's like, I'm too hot. I need to take my jacket off." And he takes his jacket off, and on the back of his waistcoat, he's got the Aces and Eights patches, and so he's
everyone loses their shit.
Everyone's like, "Oh my god, Mike Tenay has a breakdown," and Aces and Eights run in and beat everyone up, and they leave Hogan and Bully Ray just bleeding in the middle of the ring, and Brooks there just crying over her dead dad and a dead husband, which is the whole thing.
Taz in TNA was fucking something else. So good.
I didn't even know Taz was in TNA. It's this is the first that I'm hearing of it now.
He was a commentator for a long time in there.
Yeah. He also managed Samoa Joe for a little while, which was really good.
That's cool.
Yeah, he did.
It was.
He actually
It
was
was like
Joe's.
a prototype
He was
of
Joe's.
Team
He was
Tag.
Joe's. He was Joe's manager when Joe came into TNA for the first time, wasn't he?
No,
Was he not?
no. Taz was. I can't remember what happened. It was something to do with the main event mafia, wasn't it?
Oh God, well that's another. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
Oh,
Joe said he had like backup or something like that, and then he kept teasing it was Taz, and then Taz showing up, and it was like Taz is retired and fucked. He's never wrestling here, but it's
Yeah.
cool that Taz is with Samoa Joe.
Yeah. So then next up we had Taz mentioned a higher power within Aces and Eights because we can't have a wrestling angle without higher power, can we?
of course.
I didn't
Later-
realize how much this mirrored Ministry of Darkness until you were saying this now.
Yeah.
Later
Not in a good way.
that night, Bully Ray basically said that he's gonna take Aces and Eights down for ruining his wedding, beating up everyone. Basically said Devon and Taz are his main targets. Kurt Angle challenged Mr. Anderson to a steel cage match. So during that steel cage match, Angle wins. He beats Anderson, but then afterwards, Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe go into the ring to help Kurt up, and they turn on him, attack him, and join Aces and Eights. No one gave
Is Eric Bischoff the higher power?
Nobody gave an actual fuck when this happened. Like
Wow.
there was just no reaction.
Jesus.
So then, I'm trying to think. When did this happen? At one point, Bully Ray got suspended for like brutalizing someone or something, and he basically goes up to Hogan and is like, "You need to reinstate me so I can like take these guys out."
Oh, God.
And then him and Sting beat Devon and Doc in a tables match. Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe say they joined because they got no respect from the fans. True story. They didn't, and they still and they continued not to.
Actual fact.
Yeah, and then we had a match was made for Lockdown. Sting and 3 members of the TNA roster versus Devon, Doc, Nux, and Mr. Anderson in a 4-on-4 tag match.
Was that Lethal Lockdown?
I think it was Lethal Lockdown. It doesn't say here because it's stupid. Yes, it eventually became 5-on-5. So yeah, it was Devon, Doc, Anderson, Nux, and Garrett Bischoff versus Sting, Samoa Joe, Magnus, James Storm, and Eric Young. And who won? Oh no, before that, Kurt Angle went to the clubhouse. Ace and Eight had a clubhouse that was featured several times. It must have been like round the corner from the Impact show because they were there all the time. Kurt Angle went into the clubhouse, attacked Devon, and a guy who was like the vice president. He had like vice president on his jacket, and he hit a beer bottle over the vice president's head and unmasked him. And then like was like shocked and like started screaming at him, and then the show just ended before you saw whose face was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it me, Austin?
No, it was D'Lo Brown.
Yeah.
What?
It was D'Lo Brown.
That's so anticlimactic. I'd have fumed.
He at this point was an official in TNA, and then he kicked Angle in the dick, and said that yeah, it was me, Angle. It was me all along.
Oh God, I do love D'Lo. He's lovely, but like
I don't think he wrestled. Thankfully,
I think he did a little bit.
Oh God. So yeah, then Mr. Anderson beat James Storm to get the advantage in Lethal Lockdown. So they do the same thing they do in War Games. So like they have a match to like see who gets, because they come in like one at a time, like War Games.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They have like a match to see who gets like the first entry. Like so who has the numerical advantage. Race and it's got that. So we're off to Lockdown. Lockdown 2013. I'm just going to go through this as a whole because there's a lot of Aces and Eights stuff on this show. So first of all, in the undercard, Wes Briscoe defeated Kurt Angle in a cage match because reasons. I mean, he did have help from D'Lo Brown, so you know it's fine. Ace and Eight lost Lethal Lockdown after Eric Young hit an elbow off the top of the cage for the pin.
I'm thinking of something else where Aces and Eights were in a cage. I've just realised.
And then in the main event, it was Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy for the world title. Jeff Hardy was the champion going into this. During the match, Aces and Eights came out to the ring. Devon threw Bully Ray a hammer. He hits Jeff Hardy with the hammer, pins him, and wins the match. And then Bully Ray announced that he was in fact the president of Aces and Eights.
Okay.
Oh, right. And now this sounds terrible, and it sounds like it was all over the place. I will say this though. So the week after the episode of not Dynamite, fucking Impact after lockdown, they basically did like 3 10-minute video packages where Bully Ray basically explained how he managed to pull all these strings and make this all happen, and it was really well done. So it showed like every time it looked like Bully was getting beaten up, he wasn't really, and every time he said he was, and like they the way they shot it all like backstage, it all actually made sense and it all fit in. And when you watch it back, you're like, oh shit, yeah, I remember when that happened, and that was a little bit weird, and like that's why, and like now it makes sense that Bully Ray wasn't really there.
Like the ending of a Tarantino film.
Yeah, but it was
together.
It was actually like the cleverest thing they did in this entire feud. It was like they actually had a way to sort of go, well, this is how it kind of made sense, and it was like, oh shit, yeah, no, it actually really does.
Like the endings of The Usual Suspects.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you saw remember when Bully Ray didn't come out to make the save because he was getting beaten up backstage by I don't know, Devon. Well, he wasn't actually. Him and Devon were just sitting there drinking a beer or something. You know, it was sound.
Oh, right, okay.
And it was actually really well done, and it was all a ploy. Bully Ray used.
Just imagine Hogan dropping a coffee cup on the floor as he realizes all of this.
So yeah, he basically used Hogan and Brooke to get himself to a position where he could become champion. And yeah, it was really well done. And he even debuted. He basically binned Brooke Hogan off because he didn't love her, and he got Brooke Tessmacher in as his new hot Brooke. She was his femme fatale sidekick, which was actually a really good role for her. She had really good fun with that. Brooke Tessmacher was awesome. She was underrated.
Yeah.
That's all insane. I mean, good. Mind-boggling. No, thank you.
And then this all spun into a weird AJ Styles thing, where they were trying to get.
No, why does it always come back to AJ Styles?
It's so weird, AJ. I forgot about that.
So they were trying to get AJ Styles. They were trying to get AJ Styles to join Aces and Eights, and so they gave him a jacket, a leather jacket, a cut, and he took a hammer, battered Kurt Angle with a hammer, and then just battered all of Aces and Eights as well for no reason.
Punished AJ Styles.
Punished AJ. He went
Does
away.
He have an eye patch?
No, but he had swooshy hair over one of his eyes, so it was kind of the same thing.
He'd gone from being really clean cut to having a little bit of a beard and his hair he used to, but more. He had
an emo fringe, basically. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Edgy.
It was like Spider-Man 3 AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Also, during this time, Chris Sabin beat Bully Ray for the world title for some reason, and then lost it almost immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Don't worry about it.
This was also around the time that Bully Ray started going out with his real life ex-girlfriend.
Chris Sabin's.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, that was fun. And then,
I mean, I know I say that Chris Sabin's guy shaped, but he's a better generic guy shape than Bully Ray. What the fuck?
Yeah. And then eventually the whole thing sort of fell apart because of pressure from AJ Styles on Bully Ray to challenge him for the title, which AJ eventually ended up winning. And also, weirdly, Mr. Anderson sort of took Aces and Eights down from within.
Yeah.
On purpose or just
Yeah. He just fell out of. There was a lot of they did it quite. It was actually quite organic. I mean, it dragged on a little bit, but there was a lot of infighting and the group turned destabilized and people weren't getting what they wanted out of it, which might have been real life, to be fair. I mean, I need to. Oh fuck no! We need to talk about
Oh no.
Yeah, Rampage Jackson and Tito Ortiz.
That was an Aces and Eights, was it?
Yeah, because Rampage is the main event Mafia that reformed to fight Aces and Eights.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
And then Aces and Eights brought out Tito Ortiz as their their equivalent, and then they were going to have a match, and then they couldn't because the MMA company wouldn't let them wrestle in case they got injured before their MMA fight. So
and
that
also wasn't it when Rampage Jackson was filming the A-Team?
I think possibly, yeah.
So they couldn't get him insurance.
But So like TNA were like basically teasing like something was going to happen. Was it September 5th or something? Or like there was loads of like video packages hiding like someone's coming, and everyone was like, oh my god, what if it's like, what were they like? What was it like, Batista, or what if it's like someone else? And it was like fucking Tito Ortiz.
Was that like a big deal for the time?
I mean, I'm not an MMA guy, so I couldn't really tell you.
Tito Ortiz had not long retired, and he was a massive name in MMA at the time. Like it was a big get for TNA for sure.
So right, to give you a so at Hardcore Justice, Tito Ortiz joined Aces and Eights. He basically defeated to allow Bully Ray to beat Chris Sabin. That's how he got his title back. And then later in the evening, the main event Mafia, who had recruited AJ Styles because Kurt Angle was injured, beat Aces and Eights. That made Devon have to leave TNA. And then that's when Bully Ray also announced that he had Brooke Tessmacher in his corner. There was a lot of comings and goings, like a lot of people in and out. It was a revolving
door action.
Yeah. So anyway, it all came to a head at. It wasn't even a pay-per-view. Oh, was it? It was a turning point. Was that an actual pay-per-view? Yeah. So turning point 2013. So Anderson and Bully Ray had sort of been having this little power struggle about Aces and Eights. So Anderson didn't want Tito Ortiz to come in. And stuff like that. He had like problems with the way the group was being run, and like people were getting fired by losing matches and sort of stuff like that. And then Mr. Anderson and Bully Ray had a no DQ match where if Anderson won, then Ace and Ace disbanded, and if Bully Ray won, Anderson had to leave TNA. Towards the end of the match, Brooke Tessmacher threw a hammer into the ring for Bully Ray, but Mr. Anderson caught it on the way in, hit Bully with it, and then Mike checked him, and that's it. Ace and Ace were no more.
Probably for the best.
Yeah. And then he did that awful funeral promo.
Yeah.
What?
They did like an actual like funeral, but it was shot like it was like an episode of like Sons of Anarchy or like a Western or something.
Oh,
so they're in some like proper like old rickety ass wooden church. It was Anderson, Brutus Magnus, aka Nick Aldis, Samoa Joe, and I think Chris Sabin was there too.
Yeah. So later on, at a one-off special, they were supposed to. D'Lo Brown and Ken Anderson were supposed to represent Aces and Eights at No Place Like Home, but that was cancelled due to COVID. Then on the 23rd of June 2020, D'Lo Brown stood up from a chair to reveal an Aces and Eights jacket on his back. Nothing came of that for 2 years until the 16th of June 2022, when Aces and Eights, represented by Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe and managed by D'Lo Brown, made their return, but they lost to Kenny King and Vincent and just fucked off, basically.
Probably for the best again.
Yeah, again. Yeah.
Actually, D'Lo with the cut was to tease the Good Brothers debut.
Ah, right, okay.
Because it was that Slammiversary, which was like literally the day everyone's non-competes after they got released during COVID by WWE. All the non-competes like were up, so like TNA/Impact were teasing fucking everybody. Like they were like, people are coming back.
So can I read you down the actual roster as well as the Wikipedia, just as like an in memoriam sort of, let's just pour one out there. So we have Bully Ray, the president. He was in on 10th of March 2013, and I was on the 21st November 2013 when the group disbanded. You had Brooke Tessmacher, the first lady, joined on the 22nd of August 2013. D'Lo Brown was vice president, later a prospect, joined on March 7th. He was demoted to prospect on May 2nd, 2013, after losing an I Quit match to Kurt Angle. He later left the group and the company. Mr. Anderson was the second vice president, took over from Devon. He was kicked out of the group for insubordination after questioning Bully Ray's decisions. He was responsible for the disbanding of Aces and Eights after defeating Bully Ray at Turning Point. You had Devon. He left the group after being pinned in a 5-on-5 match between the main event Mafia and Aces and Eights. The person that was pinned and Smith was forced to leave. Tito Ortiz he replaced Devon as a sergeant at arms. He was in there for 2 weeks. He left the group after Bellator pulled him from his TNA appearances because he had MMA commitments.
Bear in mind, like, this is not a biker gang, like, at all.
Well, it is. They did ride bikes sometimes. Like, to be fair, like
they
they would ride a bike about 15 feet backstage. Like, you just see them go, and then just
I don't
stop.
think that counts, you know.
it does.
Then you had Taz was a
It was
spokesperson.
like, I was gonna say it was the second best thing with a motorbike in wrestling ever.
After Stone Cold, after the Undertaker.
After that, specifically that bit where the Undertaker hogtied Hulk Hogan to the back of his bike and drove it through a hallway in the back.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
that's great.
At about 2 miles per hour.
Right, so you had Taz, who was a spokesperson. He never wrestled because he was Taz. So that was fine. You had Doc Gallows, who was a soldier. He left in 2013. It was explained on TV that he basically quit after losing his vice president bid to Mr. Anderson, although he literally just left the company. I think he went to New Japan.
Yep.
Garrett Bischoff and Nux didn't do anything. Wes Briscoe, soldier, later prospect, was demoted to prospect and later kicked out of the group after losing matches. He was too shit even for Aces and Eights.
Wow.
A guy called Mike. He was
Mike.
He was captured and interrogated by Austin Aries and then was kicked out of the group because he was leaking information.
Because he didn't have a cool name. They were just like, nah, you gotta go.
Yeah. CJ O'Doyle was unmasked by Kurt Angle on August 23rd, 2012, but continued to wrestle as a masked member of the group until final resolution. Right, a couple of shocking names for you. Leva Bates was in
What?
Aces and Eights. Yeah, she maced Sting and Hulk Hogan and let Aces and Eights capture them.
She did. They were the days.
Okay.
She was a stagehand, pretended to be a stagehand, and then as she came with the Hulk and Sting and asked them a question, and she just sprayed shit in their eyes, and then Aces and Eights threw them into a van and abducted them. And then on March 18, 2023, Eva Lise made one appearance as a member of Aces and Eights at One Night Only World Cup of Wrestling.
I'm shocked that Easy didn't add himself into Aces and Eights.
His son was in there, to be fair, so he was always adjacent.
Like that's pretty much what he did with the NWO.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Aces and Eights. I remember it probably more fondly than it deserves. I actually enjoyed it at the time. There was a good bit of mystery on like anyone could have. It's like NWO, like anyone could have been the next person to join. You know, who was under the mask and who was going to turn on who, and it was very like Attitude Era, and like it was just like compulsive cliffhanger TV. Every episode was like someone getting unmasked and like not knowing who it was, and like someone was going to screw someone over, and it was kind of fun at the time. And I probably people like my age, I can see why if you ask guys like C or people like that, they probably got a lot of fondness for this sort of angle.
I feel like if I'd have probably watched it at the time, I'd have enjoyed it. I enjoy silly bollocks
Explaining
like that
to
in
it now,
wrestling.
I can see how this sounds insane.
Yeah. But also, there's not a bit of TNA news that I have heard where I haven't gone, okay. So
imagine if the first episode of TNA in January ends with Aces and Eights returning and beating everyone up.
I hope Main Event Mafia return. That's what I want.
First lockdown back as TNA. I want Aces and Eights versus Main Event Mafia. Run it back.
Will this all be on the WWE network?
No, it's a separate thing.
But it's Endeavor, isn't it?
Well, speaking about that, should we move on to a little bit of news and we'll talk about it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be TNA Plus, so it's gonna be it's under the same umbrella, but I don't know what they're actually like, what platform they're actually putting it through.
No, so the news here said that TNA, there's a press release basically saying TNA Wrestling, formerly Impact Wrestling, a subsidiary of Anthem Sports Entertainment and a division of Anthem Sports Group, has partnered with Endeavor Streaming to deliver its global on-demand streaming service TNA Plus to its passionate fans, launching Friday, January 5th. As part of a multi-year deal, Endeavor Streaming will power the new TNA Plus app to deliver an enhanced user experience to all fans across the top streaming platforms as well as mobile and connected devices. The partnership combines TNA's expertise as a top professional wrestling promoter with Endeavor Streaming's unparalleled knowledge in delivering innovative direct-to-consumer offerings. It basically sounds like TNA are going to use the platform built by Endeavor to basically host their streaming platform, their streaming service.
Which is a shame because it was on Fight.
Yeah.
I mean, WWE aren't using it, so
it's going to be priced. It's going to feature access to the full TNA Impact Wrestling library and all TNA Plus special pay-per-view programming, other than the four temple, not the Big Four, not the Big Four. Which
They'll end up on Fight, won't they?
I'm guessing is Genesis, Bound for Glory, Slammiversary, and Lockdown.
Depends what they bring, but it'll definitely be Bound for Glory and Slammiversary.
Lockdown.
Do they do Lockdown anymore?
They can do. Destination X, maybe? That's a big one.
Yeah,
Destination
X is a big one. Turning Point or Final Resolution, maybe.
But yeah,
maybe
you're not whatever they decide their big four to be, you're not going to get their big four. You have to pay extra for them, but you'll get all the other ones, all like the specials, like the little monthly ones. That's going to be $9.99 a month or $95.99 per year.
And then you can get there's one you can get which includes the big four as well, doesn't it?
But that's
which is
£220 a year.
20.
So how much is the fucking big four? £50 a show.
Hard to Kill's £20.
I'm guessing in America they're $50, aren't they? Because like that's what pay-per-view sent to cost over there. Because that's your freedom and burger tax. Enjoy it.
Yeah. I think it's a bad idea pricing it that much.
Yeah.
For them.
I mean, if they want to make big money plays, which they clearly do, they need to bring more money in. Because I imagine Fight Plus wasn't. They want more money than they're getting off Fight Plus. Then.
I mean,
it wasn't through Fight Plus. It was like Impact Plus, wasn't it?
It was their own. It was their own thing. They just used as Fight as like a host.
Oh, right, okay.
Like the way that Honor Club used to be on Fight when it was like really good, and then AEW decided they were going to put it as a fucking website for reasons.
Well, speaking of Fight, Fight isn't Fight anymore.
It's Triller.
Triller TV.
No, thank you.
It's still Fight. People are still going to call it Fight.
It's because there's more than fighting on it now, apparently.
Yeah, they've got footy on there, and they've got that film that Mox is in on there. Other things too. It's still shite either way.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before people call it Triller. Yo, yeah, that went a bit weird. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's going to be a while before they call it Triller.
Apologies if there's any few little bleeps here and there. Discord's been a bit weird tonight. It's happening to all of us. And just pretend it's like the Avengers and we're all in Thanos snapped or something. It's fine. It's impressive. I want to run with.
When you talk about TNA too much.
Exactly. We opened the Hogan verse and something came through the other side.
The Bischoff Homegaverse is like leading into our reality. We don't need that.
No, thank you.
No,
Bit of weird news. So Mike Chioda was on the latest Monday Mailbag podcast, and he basically says that basically someone blocked Aubrey Edwards getting a job in WWE before she went to AEW.
Wow.
Yeah.
Madness.
Well, haven't they got like 2 female refs in WWE, and like that's enough for them, I guess.
Yeah, too many women now. Can't have any more.
Have they?
Twitter will get angry. It's not allowed.
Aubrey's great, and it's a missed opportunity, I think, for them.
Yeah,
but they also don't like refs with big personalities anymore, do they? They just kind of like them to like.
No, they like the ones that are just there, stood there, not doing anything. I mean, they did also make Thunder Rosa a referee, which is still wild to me.
They offered her a contract there, didn't they? So
for the Mae Young Classic, they offered her a contract for a referee. I'm pretty sure Aubrey refed in the Mae Young Classic, actually.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain she did.
Right, Jay, do you want to hit me with the big...
and thought this ref's too over.
You want to hit us with the big contract news?
Yeah. So on top of Drew McIntyre and Becky Lynch, who've already kind of been alluded to that their contracts are up in 2024, Fightful Select have literally broke before we started because they're good like that and they give us little scoops. That Seth Rollins' contract is up in June, and so far there have been no discussions of renewing it.
Oh my god!
Which means Punk's probably beating him at Mania, doesn't it?
Jesus. Company man Phil got to run Seth Rollins out of WWE.
I mean, out of like the names that are obviously in WWE that are sort of the contracts are coming up, I'd say Seth's probably the most likely to resign.
Depending on where Becky goes.
Not necessarily.
I mean, I'm gonna run with this and just be happy about this until I get disappointed and he signs with WWE. Let me have this.
I mean, he's absolutely re-signing with WWE.
I know.
They've been a lot more kind of like laxer with when they're getting renewals as well. Recently, they've been kind of like dragging it very close to when the actual contract expires. I know they did with AJ Styles not so long ago, and they did with a few other people as well. They bite them on the arse with a few people like Bryan Danielson and Claudio, but you know, it clearly they see that as a bit more of a better bargaining chip. So go wild.
Seth's like pretty much guaranteed to be like a company man till retirement, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But also
I think
stranger things have happened.
I think the thing with Seth Rollins is that he's obviously he knows what it's like to be on the indies because he's a big ROH guy, and then he went to WWE and he became a big WWE guy, so he kind of knows both sides of the coin. So I think a lot of wrestlers who've kind of experienced that I've got a bit more kind of like looking from the inside of WWE on what's going on outside of WWE. I can probably see there's quite a lot of opportunities and there's quite a lot of like different alternative like roads you can go down, especially if you've already made the money in WWE. I mean, look at Jericho. He didn't need to go to New Japan when he did. He just did it because he wanted to do something different. Mox didn't need to leave WWE when he did. He just wanted to do something different. So, stranger things have happened. I think he'll 100% resign. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of those big names does leave WWE.
Got to be careful there, Jay, between re-sign and resign.
Yeah, sign a new deal.
Don't want to get that wrong on the internet because people will lose their shit.
Resubscribe to WWE.
But I mean, I out of the three, I can see Becky leaving because she's been offered like loads of like acting jobs, hasn't she?
Yeah.
And I can see Drew leaving because he just seems genuinely unhappy.
Yeah.
But who knows? Like CM Punk might punch Seth Rollins and throw a chair at him because he mentioned Colt Cabana in an interview.
Yeah, right. Any more? I've got a few more little bits of news. We're going to run through it, and then we can talk about some local wrestling.
Yeah,
I saw some at Charlotte before, just to make Sarah sad.
Oh yeah, she got hurt on
Yeah, there we go.
SmackDown.
Matching Tasker. Apparently, it's extremely. The company are both extremely concerned that the injury could be fairly serious.
Yeah, it was a nasty looking bump.
Is that when they both sort of fell off the turnbuckle?
Yeah, and like a knee kind of bounced off like the top rope.
There, Richard sent me a crying emoji. So yeah, there we go.
I've just seen that. Just tell her it's all right. She's probably only going to miss WrestleMania.
It looked very similar to the not sort of what like for like, but it looked similar to the sort of spot that happened with Mercedes, wasn't it, when she sort of fell off the sort of turnbuckle and
yeah. So it hopefully she's okay. You never want to see anyone getting hurt.
I mean, the thing is, you could actually see her in the ring, like shouting, like my knee at Charles Robinson, couldn't you? Like she was like quite vocally hurt, which was yeah. We wish her all the best. Hopefully, she comes back real soon to win more titles.
Yeah. So here's something that may have flew under the radar, which is kind of exciting. I'm going to try and hunt this down. Mark Henry is going to have a documentary about his life.
Yes, I've just seen that. Yeah.
which is, it looks like, so it's A&E who have got a deal with WWE to do the documentaries, but it looks okay, so it looks like it's WWE produced, but it's essentially about his life and his career. He obviously was, before he was in WWE, he was an Olympic weightlifter. He had a really tough time in the wrestling business.
He was the world's strongest man, mate.
He was, and it's cool to see because he's a fascinating man. And I like Mark Henry. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deonna Purrazzo is
She's
gonna
also
be a free agent on January 1st.
She wrestled their last Impact match, but apparently one thing that was kind of put up by Fightful last week was that she has left and she's going to explore her options, but the door's very much open for her to return to TNA. Like they're on good terms.
It's TNA. I mean, TNA seems like the best possible fit for her really at this point, doesn't it? Like AEW is kind of a bit overstuffed.
I think she'd be a great addition for the AEW women's roster, though.
Yeah, but they only put like one match on the show, mate. They can't have that many women.
Well, yeah, Britt Baker's been teasing because they've like been desperate to have a match together, haven't they?
Yeah, thing is that you could always just bring her in for a little run, couldn't you? And then like she go and do something else. She goes to Japan. I'd love to see her in Japan. Let's see her in New Japan, or in like Stardom, doing throwing a
yeah. Or Sukaban.
Yeah, I need to watch that. I need to watch the Sukaban show. Apparently, it was really good.
It looks amazing. It was under a freeway, which apparently was like better lit than anywhere.
Yeah, it had like better lighting than most shows I've been to, which is kind of weird.
Rena Yamashita showed up, didn't she?
Yeah.
Another thing, Danielson is the complete law and order in AEW.
Oh, Bryan Danielson's a cop.
You're being executed by Bryan Danielson. He is the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bryan Danielson has apparently now is dishing out fines to people who are breaching AEW's social media, which is good. I think it's good that they're doing this because there's a lot of people who kind of take liberties on social media and say things that make the company look bad. You get it in both companies. WWE have got their affairs well more in order with shit like that than AEW. And yeah, it's good to see they're actually doing it because if
you're a public figure and you're under contract with a thing, you shouldn't be able to say something like negative about your company on like a what is essentially like a company social media. It's not, but you know what I mean. It is.
Yeah, I mean, it's bringing the company to disrepute, isn't it? Like you can't just tweet about your boss, like even if you think it's true.
He put on like plug and Rampage. He said if anyone doesn't watch his match with Daniel Garcia, he's gonna fine them.
Yeah, well,
that was so funny.
Mike Santana said because everyone said, oh, he hasn't posted for like 2 weeks, maybe he's been fined by Bryan Danielson, and he was like, nah, because I haven't been on Twitter.
Yeah.
And Brit's tweets ever since that are like "Go Jags" and stuff like that, which is hilarious.
Yeah, Brit's been very quiet, hasn't she? So to TNA announced 2 matches for their Vegas show as well, which are very compelling.
And they've signed Trent Seven as well.
And they've signed Trent Seven, which is fucking great news because Trent Seven's awesome. So it's Snake Eyes on January the 14th. They've announced Will Ospreay versus Josh Alexander 2. I still haven't seen the first one. It's free on the YouTube channel. I'm going to make a point of watching that because I've heard it's fantastic. And also they announced Kazuchika Okada and the Motor City Machine Guns, easy for me to say, against Moose, Brian Myers, and Eddie Edwards. So again,
which definitely we haven't willed into existence.
I feel responsible for that. You mean Akato, by the way?
No, he doesn't.
They did actually do like a video package and it
I
was him
saw it
walking out.
and I felt like I was having
Yeah.
a stroke.
And they were like, this man was underutilized when he came here. He didn't make the splash he wanted to.
I love
And then
how
he became the Rainmaker.
I love how this just like basically validates all the shit we said the other week about Okada
Yeah.
and TNA.
Well, as soon as he said that, like, did that promo, he's like, I need to go back into a TNA ring and like right some wrongs. It was like, oh god, he's definitely going. To be honest, Okada's a free agent next year. I think TNA would be a fucking good landing point for him if he's not leaving Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine the thing is as well, TNA have got like some big money they're throwing around to try and like sign people up.
They had all that. They got all that Osprey money just burning a hole in the pocket, haven't they? So.
Yeah.
Well, they offered that to Punk as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
They offered like, what was it, 7 figures to Punk and Osprey, and he got turned down on both. So they could.
No, they're like, Kazu, come here.
Throw that at a Kato, get him. Just think for 15 million, he'd probably put the costume on once.
You don't even have to be Samoa Joe's cameraman anymore.
Oh, imagine if they got Samoa Joe back to be his cameraman.
All the turns have tabled.
How the turntables, indeed. Yeah, and I'm seeing what else happened. There was a lot of wrestling this weekend.
I was going to say it's been big on wrestling light on news, really, hasn't it? So.
Yeah, so like there was a TNA Final Resolution, which was Impact Final Resolution, I should say. Apparently a really good show. NXT Deadline, which I saw a little bit of, that was fine. GCW had a show. Big fucking Joe yeeted some guy who got in his face, which is hilarious.
Oh, good.
Nice.
I saw
that. I saw someone made a Lego diorama of that as well, which was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that on Discord before. Yeah, apparently as well. I was looking at Twitter about it. The guy who got in Big fucking Joe's face tried to do it to Eddie Kingston at the Collective, and someone stopped him, which makes me so sad because if they got in Big fucking Joe's face, you know for a fact Eddie would have killed them.
Well, it just reminds you of that guy in PWG who did it to Jacob Fatu, and he just beat the fuck out of him.
Well,
that was an
someone
MLW.
tried to do it to Daniel Garcia, didn't he?
It was the same guy who did it to Jacob Fatu, did it to Daniel Garcia, and Daniel Garcia just like stomped his face.
Yeah, Jacob
yeah,
Fatu
and like he kicked a drink out of his hand, didn't he? Like,
yeah,
like Jacob Fatu like launched him, like tried to fucking kill the guy.
Yeah,
because
Jacob Fatu had to be pulled off him.
Yeah, what's a
He
prize?
He hit him. He went down like a sack of shit and just didn't move. And then Jacob Fatu was just on him, and he was like, "Oh no, the Stewart have to drag him off of the guy."
Yeah, wild scenes.
I mean, if you go to wrestling shows, don't hit wrestlers because they'll hit you back, and they know how to do it properly. So fucking more fool.
Yeah. GCW also had Santana Jackson versus George South, which was tremendous.
Ryan's not even dead, but he's spinning in his grave.
Ryan hated every moment of it because apparently he hates Santana Jackson as well.
Incredible.
So he was sat there just seething. George South got angry that everyone was swearing at him and was telling him off. Kept calling him some guy fat. And then Santana Jackson got his werewolf mask on. And as soon as he comes in, George South just rips it off and wipes his ass with it. And then he goes back under and comes out with a different mask, and then it's George South with the moonwalk DDT. It was like, this is absolutely ridiculous, but I'm fucking here for it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was good. It was a pretty good show. Also, we got the first load of WWE releases showing up on the indies this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Mason Mansour, the former Maximum Male Models, now just called MXM, debuted for DPW. Made the save for Speedball Mike Bailey, so that's nice.
We watched, speaking of DPW, we watched Chris Danger versus Sean Spears on Tommy Jackson's stream last night.
Watched it, yeah.
Oh, it was very good. It was very good.
I remember Sean Spears. chair pervert.
Yeah. I'm excited to see Chris Danger getting a hole in his arm.
It's free on YouTube. I'll send you the.
I saw. I actually have it saved on my watch to watch later. I just haven't got around to doing it.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm seeing what else.
Dolph Ziggler has been announced, hasn't he?
He got announced for Puerto Rico as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Dolph's first ever match outside of WWE.
Is it ever?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Which is going to be wild, and it's in Puerto Rico. That's mad times. It's great, just great to see. Like, there's ways for, even after like they've been released from the big companies, there's still ways for guys who have like never wrestled in these environments to just go and make a living, which is you love to see it.
Yeah,
I'm glad they didn't go to like somewhere like GCW first off. Then, like, as you imagine that being like your first experience of like the indies.
I would like it.
I think wherever Dolph goes, he's gonna have a good time. To be honest.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna actually get to show like how good a wrestler he is, and people are gonna actually be like buzzing over the fact that he's finally fucking allowed to like wrestle without being made to look like a dickhead or just like not put on TV for months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, should we move on? I want you guys to tell me all about Atomic Pro Wrestling that you went to this week.
Yeah, it was a very good show.
So good.
So it was my first Atomic show, because I don't really do midweek, but I was out and I got offered the free ticket by Faye, so I took her up on
His
that.
arm was twisted. Like,
Were you bribed with hot dogs?
yeah, actually.
I was bribed with pizza and a Costco chicken bake.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a really good show. A lot of awesome local talent. A couple of people like that people who aren't familiar with like our local scene would know as well. Yeah, it was really good.
Danny Black
opening match.
was one of them, wasn't he?
Who?
The comedian guy. I'd never seen him before. It was against
Nathan Black.
Nathan Black. Sorry, yeah.
I can't remember who he was against.
2Bite.
It was 2Bite, yeah. Yeah,
Opening
he was really
match.
good actually.
Yeah.
Opening match was Rob Drake.
Two-Bit's been fucking killing it in Atomic like since they started.
He's so over.
Yeah.
He's so over.
He's like a mad baby face, which is just weird.
Wild.
Breaks my brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the opening match?
The opening match was Sam Gradwell versus Rob Drake in a fucking hoss fight.
Yes. The DP was everywhere.
Sam Gradwell fist pumped me, and my hand felt like it was going to fall off for about half an hour afterwards because he hit it that hard. But yeah, Sam Gradwell's fucking great. Like it's good to see him just like getting around. He was obviously like previously been in like NXT UK, and he was in the WWE UK Championship tournament.
Well, he made his debut at the Rumble, like as the surprise entrant. Last time.
Awesome. He's great. Yeah, him and Rob had a banging match. Rob picked up the win.
Wasn't it?
Oh, they tasty. It was literally right up your street.
Yeah, I'll like they normally put it on. I couldn't make it this week, but I've tried to get. I hope to get into the next one. I'll try and catch it online. They put it online eventually, didn't they? So I'll watch it when it goes up on the old YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a good little commentary team as well. It was Chris Brooker.
It was Chris Brooker, and I can't remember who else it was.
Sam. Is it Sam? Is that her name?
Oh, Lucy Sims.
Lucy Sims,
Yes.
That's it. Yes,
Yeah.
Lucy's great. She usually does it with Bessel, but he wasn't there this week. But he was a lot of Chris. I've never seen Chris Brooker on comms, but he looks like he's got loads of charisma. So
Chris is
should be fun to listen to.
He does
He was
stuff
on
with,
the Rumble. He was there for the Rumble as well, wasn't he? He was there for the Rumble show.
Yes, he was.
He does a lot of stuff with Future Shock. He's pretty good.
Nice.
Seen him there a few times. Yeah, so we had that. There was a triple threat tag team match, which again tasty, right up your street.
It was.
It was Act 2 versus Made to Last versus Meatwagon, the former Synergy.
Nice.
Meatwagon tried to steal Faye's cookies.
Literally mid-match, like.
mean,
It went in me bag.
They
No,
got to get them gains for you know what you
it
going to do.
didn't spill out though. He was just lying on the
literally
floor
went-
because he got knocked out. He literally went in me bag that was just next to him, and I was like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, he was like a fucking sniffer dog, wasn't he?
It was so funny.
Sniffing out contraband.
He was like,
yeah,
"I'm coming back for them later." I was like, "Oh God."
that was really good. We got a Jack Nudson's a hoss champ, which made me happy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because he was like throwing around all the big lads. Mate Last won that one by massive shithousery.
No surprise there.
Made to last, just like top knobheads, aren't they?
Oh,
Yeah.
They got the jacket. They came out with the torn jackets, by the way, wearing them.
No, the reason the jackets are torn, Jay, is because last time Meatwagon put them on and then flexed in them and ripped them.
You'll love to see it.
And they came out with like tattered jackets. And I think they got ripped even more this time. And then they
Nice.
still put them on afterwards.
Meatwagon ripped them up even more.
Amazing.
I'm trying to think what else. Oh, have I froze again?
I think we blipped again. It's fine. It's just Thanos. Don't worry. Just Thanos things.
Joey
We
Hayes.
got, Joey Hayes and Declan McCarthy, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That was good.
So
Big
good.
old meat chest.
Declan McCarthy's one of those guys. I'd never seen him before Atomic, but he's absolutely smashed it every time he's been there.
Yeah, very good. Alexis Falcon and Lily Winter we had as well, which was a banger. First time I've seen Lily Winter, and she's awesome.
Yeah, me too. She was really good.
Yeah, so good.
Nice.
I'm trying to think what else.
We had Harley Hudson and Lizzie Evo versus Sam Bailey and Helen Charlotte Campbell. That was amazing.
That was very good. I love the fact that so basically Sam Bailey was being a knobhead because it's Sam Bailey and that's what he does.
Yeah.
And he kept shouting at Helen to like tag him in when like they had the advantage.
And they almost won, and Sam tagged her out.
Yeah, they almost won, and Sam tagged her out, and she just goes, "Fuck this! I'm going to sell merch," and just went straight to the merch stand.
It was so good.
And then Scouse and Proud got the picked up the W.
And we got a hug off Harley's mum.
We did.
Harley's mum's the best. She gets like she's been at other shows as well. She gets so angry at just specifically Atomic.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. I think it's just the environment. I think it's so quiet. Like it's not quiet, but it's a different like sort of crowd, isn't it? She just gets like really riled up and like really aggy, which is great. I love her. She's the best.
I was shouting, "I hate Sam Bailey" at him. I like Harley's family kept looking over at me like, going, "Yeah."
Because it was there were chants like, "I hate you specifically." Helen's all right, and Helen was made up.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, and was there anything else, or was it just? Oh.
What was the main event? Talk me about the title match.
Yeah, I blipped again there. The main event was meant to be Scott Oldman versus Joe Kessler for the Atomic World Championship, and then a wild Tony Wright appeared and pointed out that he is also undefeated. So it got made into a three-way dance, which is obviously an elimination triple threat match. Oldman got Kessler out quite early on, didn't he?
Elimination match.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh, I'm big into that.
Yeah. So essentially,
Scott took the nastiest bump on the floor, though, like on the concrete.
Yeah, he was taking some grotty bumps.
Scott Oldman always takes grotty bumps at Atomic. It's like I remember the first show I was talking to Mark. A bit of disclaimer: I know a lot of the lads who run Aspects, and he was talking to I think it was Sonna Durson and Scott were doing the first ever Atomic match on the first show, and they wanted to stand on the bar seating part of the bar table part in Aspects, and they were like, absolutely not. It can barely support like 10 glasses. Like no one can stand on it. It will collapse. This was like
Yeah.
This was like a month after Scott Oman broke a table and broke a table in a church hall at Wrestle Island.
He did do that. That was funny.
He broke it using Lance Rivera.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So Scott eliminated Joe Kessler, and then basically proceeded to just crime Tony Wright for a little while. And then Tony pretty much out of nowhere picked up the win, didn't he?
Oh, it was so
nice.
lovely. Because
Yeah.
Jay was like the entire thing in between, like hating Scott Oberman violently.
I was very much like rooting for Joe Kessler because I fucking love Joe Kessler. And then as soon as like Joe went out, I was like full on like the Tony Wright train, like just like come on, and booing the shit out of Scott.
Scott didn't keep a straight face. It was delightful.
Amazing.
And everybody else thinks that Jay's got like some sort of like blood feud with him at this point.
He called to me after the show and was like, I love it when your shows could get so much heat. I was like, I didn't overdo it, did I? I was like, no, it's great. So, yeah.
Well, we always do it in your absence, to be fair. So, like,
that's good.
You always get it.
He deserves it. He's a menace. Yeah. And so Tony is the first ever Atomic Championship. Unfortunately, he did break his ankle in that match.
Fracture.
And then carried. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then carried on for another couple of minutes afterwards.
It was quite early on in the match, actually. He said.
It was when he did. I think it was when it was him and Scott still though.
When he did the hip attack.
He posted the video of it on Twitter.
It's grotty.
Yeah, his ankle just kind of like caves in underneath him. But yeah, Tony Wright is the first ever Atomic Champion, which is awesome.
You love to see
Amazing.
Yeah. Also, as I said, Tony Wright got injured. Also, Joe Kessler got injured this weekend.
He fractured his jaw.
He didn't grit his teeth against the grizzled young veterans, as he said, and ended up with a broken jaw as a result and needing emergency surgery. So, with definitely on the YouTube video, I'll get them for the podcast video. We'll put links to their shops if you want to support them because
they have amazing
insanely talented guys, and they've both got excellent merch. I bought a Joe Kessler shirt at Atomic. I'm going to buy a Tony Wright shirt
Cactus Jack shirt.
Nice.
Yes, that exact one.
He came out like Cactus Jack, like full Cactus Black.
Oh,
it was
amazing.
so good.
Yeah, if you don't already follow Tony Wright on Twitter, just get on it. Why are you still here? He's amazing. Get on his Twitter. Yeah.
He changes his name monthly. It's delightful. Yeah. He's Saint Nicholas at the minute for Christmas.
Amazing.
He is. Yeah, go support those two because they're both insanely talented wrestlers, and probably, despite the injury, he's going to have a really big 2024. I feel.
Yeah, well, Tony seems to think that. Well, he's like, he put up a really good like retrospective of his last year in wrestling, and he was like, I did like a couple of shows across like 3 promotions, so I made a vow with myself like this year that's just ending now to do that, and he's done like 53 shows across like 17 promotions or something like that, and that's not counting like ring crew. He's done it some big because he had a nice spot in Progress at the whatever Rumble that was, and like all that sort of stuff. But just to see, even Joe Kessler, like the year that these two have had, and the matches have been fantastic. Like, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. Any other wrestling shows you've been to lately, Faye, that you want to talk about?
I went to Wrestle Island. RPD beat Casey Payne. I'm incredibly sad about that.
As a podcast, we cannot condone that. We are VGS for life, as you all know.
As a member of VGS,
VJS as Casey started calling you.
He did call me VJS on Wednesday because he knows.
Yeah. And I went to Live Pro at Hooters 2-3 weeks ago. That was amazing. There was my favourite match on that was a 4-way between Isaac North, Ben Reed, Lewis Johnson, and Jinner, and
Nice.
they had table spots. There was a bit in the ring where there was 4 of them in the ring, and they all hit each other over the head with bacon trays.
I mean, where else do you get table spots and table service in the same show?
Truth. Also, Lizzie had food poisoning, so we didn't get my girls fighting. But
Not
PL
from Hooters, though.
Dotson, no, not from Hooters. No, it was before that. PL Dotson stepped in, who I mentioned earlier on the podcast, where he's like live pros answer to Spike Trebay.
Oh, nice.
But like, it's like they thought like really last minute, like who do we get a Scouser to like fight? And it's like someone who's basically like.
It's like, we can't do Scouser v Scouser, right? Book the biggest Tory we can find.
Yeah, 100%, and it worked so well. Like,
is he in the sort of Thatcher Wright mold?
100%. Like, he's absolutely like that, and he properly insults the crowd. No, considering it's a family-friendly show, he's like, no, all these kids have got different dads. Like, they're all it's brilliant. He's really good. To be fair, Live Pro is a hella good show. I can't wait. They're renaming to In Your Scouse, which I love.
Oh, nice.
They've got a show in Feb, but their next show is Infinite Promotions.
Yeah, they bought the Infinite brand, haven't they? And they're bringing that back.
Yeah.
That's going to be in Bootle.
In Bootle, we're getting Sam Gradwell versus Luke Jacobs has just been announced.
I love how Sam Gradwell is just like everywhere now.
Yeah.
Delicious stuff.
That one is. But the next In Your Scouse one is the 24th of Feb. But look at that.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
It's nice, that, isn't it? The logo. I was like, I need that on a t-shirt. So I'm hoping that they sell that. But I couldn't make it to Saturday's show, which was a shame because that was Luke Jacobs versus Scott Oberman, and I'm looking forward to watching that because it was a chop fest apparently.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Sound. Also coming up, there's a Wrestle Island show coming up, I believe, an Island Temple show.
On Saturday, I'm very excited. The VIP tickets are only a tenner.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who's on it? Do you know who's on it?
I saw Lance on the poster.
Yeah, Jack Galla is on it as well. He's one of the trainees. He's brilliant. I think Sean Only, obviously being a trainer, the main trainer at the Island Temple, will be on it as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good. I'm so excited. Also, like, I'm hoping, I don't know if that'll happen, but I'm hoping that I get to see Aria again because
yeah, that'd be cool. So it's called Island Temple Order 66, and it's in the same venue that Wrestle Island run their main shows out of.
It's later. It's on a 7:30. Starts at 7:30.
Oh, right, okay. EJ Walsh is on the poster as well.
Yeah, he is. There's a few people.
I love that. So the posters are obviously very Star Wars themed, Order 66, and they've got Sean Oney dressed as the Emperor.
Yeah, he looks good, doesn't he? Well, to be fair, he had like a Star Wars angle at the last Island show, where he was him and Chucky Thunder had a lightsaber fight.
Oh, nice.
Oh no, it wasn't him and Sean Only. Sorry, it was him and
Starkiller Birch.
Chucky Thunder and Starkiller Birch. Yeah, and it was so good. Sean Only just murdered Jack Galla, which again, he's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they said Billy O'Keefe's going to be on the show. Just trying to find any others.
Not many have been announced as of yet. I'm very excited for it.
I imagine they're probably going to have a lot of like trainees, aren't they? Or just
yeah. Well, I know Joe Lacken. It was on Tommy Jackson's part of Tommy Jackson's streaming community. He's on there. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to Abaddon as well.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Not the AEW one, a different one.
No. He's big and scary, and I'm sure the trainees will be fine.
Thank you, boy.
The trainees are really getting over at the minute at Wrestle Island though, because the VIP matches now are trainee matches.
Yeah, also Sean Oney's done a lot of work, like bringing them onto the main show and like doing angles with them, hasn't he? Like they interfered in a lot of Sean Oney's matches. Like he like basically forces them to do his like evil bidding, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, it's so good.
I wonder if he's going to get EJ Walsh to murder all the younglings.
Definitely going to happen, isn't it?
Just like Order 66.
Also, I found out this week, because he's in the Queer Wrestling Illustrated 200, that Riley, the MBF, stands for non-binary finery, which I love. I didn't know that. It's so good.
Shout out to Riley, and shout out to everyone who placed in the QWI as well.
Everybody's in it. Like all my faves.
It was great to see so many like young British wrestlers like featuring quite high up in there as well. From like Commander Sterling, Riley, Tony Wright was in there.
Tony Wright was in there. Max the Impaler.
Wasn't Daddy in the top 5?
Yeah, Daddy was number 3. Effie was number 7. Oh, sorry, Ali was number 7.
Nice.
And Paro was pretty high as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
As he should be. Yeah.
As he should be. Shout out to friend of the podcast, Paro.
Right, before we go, should we just rattle through some AEW? I don't want to get too into AEW because we've gone really long on everything else this week, and like AEW was good this week, but it was like just matches. There were some great matches, and we'll talk about them, but there was nothing like massive to discuss really, was
there? Not really. Should we do what we do when we usually run out of time, and just reel off? Yeah, reel off a couple of things.
Can I go first? Because I've got an important one I want to talk about.
Oh, go on, mate.
I want to shock you all here, but I want to talk about Eddie Kingston versus Claudio.
Gasp.
Because this was fucking incredible. This was probably better than the Grand Slam match.
I think this is the best match they've had in AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Claudio beat Eddie beat Eddie down so hard at the start of the match. Eddie really he does that thing, the Eddie thing where he just works from behind so well. Like at one point he was just he was chopping Claudio with the last ounce of strength in his entire body, which was just.
There was some bits in this match as well where they were hitting a big move, Eddie did the machine gun chops in the corner, and Claudio's taking them, and then he just stops selling and just stands up and glares at him, and Eddie's hitting him and they're not having any effect, and he starts panicking. And there was a bit where Claudio kicked Eddie in the face, and Eddie just no-sold it. This was tremendous. I know it's one of those things where I don't want them to do it overdo it too much, but if they can every now and again just dip into this feud, and we get a match like this, I'm okay with it.
Eddie won the same way as well, but the powerbomb.
Yeah.
He didn't. He went for powerbomb, and Claudio reversed it, and then Eddie rolled him through.
Oh yeah. Yeah, which is a really good match. Eddie just Eddie, no joy in victory for Eddie. He was just fucking angry.
Have you seen Claudio's promo after this match as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Outstanding. It basically, anyone who thinks Claudio Castagnoli isn't a good promo guy, watch this and you'll be proved wrong, because the intensity and it's very much like an Eddie Kingston or a Mox promo. Just the realism that he's saying in it. And yeah, Claudio's great. I fucking love him. Faye, do you want to go next or shall I?
No,
because
I would like
I
to
already know what
about...
you're going to say.
Can I talk about Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson?
Yes, absolutely, because this was also fucking unreal.
This match was so good. From straight off the bat, Danny coming out in his trunks with the towel, and he's wearing the same colours as Bryan, and it's just it's just poetic. Perfect. But I've never rooted for Daniel more than I ever have during this match. Oh my god, I really thought he was gonna do it.
Which is a shame, because that Psycho knee that Bryan Danielson hit on was a fucking walk around.
It was a walk around, and then he spat on him.
and he spat on him, and then he stamped his head in for good measure. Garcia tapped. No, he passed out, didn't he, to the labella?
Yeah.
So he looked strong in the feet. I think, like, I know you're desperate for Garcia to pick up any kind of win in this tournament.
He said in his after-match promo that he doesn't feel like he's win or loss. He feels like it's like a change.
Ooh. I was gonna say, I feel like the victory that Garcia gets is he remembers who he is and where he come from.
Ugh.
And then like the following year, he can have like a banner year in the Continental Classic next year.
Shout out to Bryan Danielson for these meditation promos.
Yeah.
That one where he's getting like treatment on his eye after the Andrade match, and he's just like, "Do you think I'm happy about this man poking at my eye?"
Oh my god!
Such an angry little goblin man.
What I loved was how Bryan was working on Daniel's shoulder, and then as a result, his neck, and then as a result, he couldn't really do the lean back. He couldn't wrench the Dragon Tamer fully back.
Yeah.
It really showed him how like Bryan knew how to break him down like piece by piece, and he knew like it's like they really knew each other. And he was saying like he was like hitting him, saying, "Come on, dance, Danny," and then Danny did dance, and that was where it really turned to shit for him. He was really strong before that.
Oh, the shit talking Danielson was doing in this match was fucking unreal.
I'm probably gonna watch this again.
It was very good. It did make it into the short list for my matches of the year, for sure. I don't know if it'll make the top 10, but it'll definitely be in the honorable mentions at least.
Absolutely.
It was very, very, very good.
I feel like as soon as the blocks get announced, I've been waiting for this match, and I got what I wanted out of it, almost.
We haven't had Garcia versus Eddie yet, have we?
Oh man, that comes next, doesn't it?
That's
Eddie's gonna feast.
Oh.
Eddie's gonna eat his soul. As I said, Eddie's going through the whole BCC to get to that fucking final.
Yeah.
Eddie has a great match. Do you remember when Mox and Eddie were feuding against Garcia in 2.0? Do you remember the match that Eddie and Garcia had?
Yeah.
Previously, that
Eddie
was
just
so
wants to eat that cake.
Yeah, he did.
He just wanted to eat some cake, and he had Daddy Magic getting up all in his business.
So then he murdered Daniel Garcia.
Daddy says no. Yeah. Right.
The dude's been so good this week.
Oh, it was fucking excellent. Have you seen it yet, Tasty?
Seen what?
Being the Dark Order.
No, yeah, I've gotten out of watching it, which I need to get back into the habit. I know.
Oh, it's so good.
I did watch. I did see Shibata on AEW, which was fucking incredible.
that was fantastic.
They got Dalton on it though, so you need to watch it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I have seen Sarah's been watching it, and I've caught little bits and bobs. I've seen Dalton and the boys. Why do the boys keep getting hurt on AEW now? I don't like it.
Don't worry about it.
Between the boys and the Iron Savages, why does Tony Khan want all my favourites to get hurt?
Well,
because Eddie Kingston's got to be Claudio, so you have to reset the universe somehow.
Balance it out.
On Being the Dark Order, they do have proper like 90s workout videos of the Iron Savages.
Yes, I saw that, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah. But yeah, they basically this week did something which was fucking outstanding, which from someone who's a big old wrestling fucking history buff, to see them recreate what they did was outstandingly good.
Nice.
Shout out to Wrestling with Shadows. If you know, you know. Right. Speaking of which, I'm gonna mention the match that I really enjoyed on Dynamite, which was Adam Copeland versus Christian.
Oh, nice.
This felt like a pay-per-view match. It felt huge.
It did feel like a pay-per-view.
And these two guys like know each other. Fucking unreal. Have I frozen again?
Yeah, I think we got some of that. But
yeah, little bit of fuckery, but not too much.
Just like right there.
Yeah, there was a little ref bump because Christian. Nick Wayne's mum come in and hit Adam with the belt instead.
Which makes sense. So everyone was like, "Why did that happen? Everyone was like, "Why did that happen? Why did she do that?" But don't forget, Adam like murdered her son like 2 weeks ago when she was like pleading for him not to.
Adam made her watch him kill her fucking boy.
Mm.
I hope that Christian Cage starts like goosing it out. That'd be funny.
Christian Cage and Nick Wayne's mum live sex celebration. Is that what you're saying, Jay?
Yeah, give me what I want. But yeah, this was great. Went a little bit longer than I thought it would, but in a good way. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was excellent, and I feel like we're probably getting some kind of a rematch at World's End.
Yeah, there was fuckery here to make it sense for them to do another match, wasn't there? So this was fine.
Do it in a cage, Khan, you coward.
Yeah, that's the only way to end it. Spear off the top of the don't do a spear off the top of the cage. I don't want Adam to do that.
Christian Cage within a cage. Do it, cowards. But yeah, this was fun. Tasty, what you got for us next?
I'm gonna leave the other one for you because I know you want to talk about that. So one thing I really enjoyed. Well, I want to talk. Can I just talk about just some of what the women's action on this over the couple of shows there? One, I thought.
Absolutely.
Just very quickly, I thought Tony Storm versus Sky Blue was excellent. I really, really enjoyed that.
Yep.
I think they're building some really good chemistry. I know they've wrestled quite a few times with each other, haven't they? But they've definitely built up some really nice chemistry. Abaddon was back, and it's not even Halloween.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for her.
She
like
spoke.
That
she spoke.
She did.
Yeah. I like that they are like actually building something for Abaddon and not just having Abaddon show up because it's Halloween and then they disappear again.
Yeah, I love how like the whole story is like Julia Hart's like, I can't read you because you're fucking weird, so I want to wrestle you.
Because you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also on Collision, Willow versus Mercedes Martinez was great as well. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, all good stuff. Faye, what you got?
Mox and Roosh. Was that this week? Wasn't it?
That was this week.
Yeah, I was leaving that for Jake because I'm a nice person, but you know.
I to be fair, I was gonna go for something else.
Oh, fair. Well, we'll talk about that. That was excellent. I loved it. One thing I've really, like you were saying before, one thing I've really enjoyed about this C2 is the promos afterwards of Roosh just being an unhinged lunatic.
And Mox.
I love that Roosh was like Mox was super chill in his one.
Mm-hmm.
Very cathartic. Yeah, I love that Roosh was like basically hunting down Mox for round 2.
So good.
But
so
again,
good.
like they've got it down with the finishes, like some of them where, like obviously Garcia and Roosh both can't really beat him too many pins anymore because it gets to a point where it starts to diminish them a bit. So it was good that like they had both of them getting choked out in this one. So it was like literally like they were pushed to the absolute limits. And
absolutely.
Also in crowd murder.
Yeah.
Also, there was no need for how much smouldering masculinity there was in that Swerve Mox stare down after this match.
Oh my god, boy. I was unhinged.
I am
like that entire 5 minutes. I was like, wow.
I'm genuinely surprised that that they're doing Swerve versus Mox as the penultimate match and not the last one.
It feels massive though, doesn't it? It feels so big.
I suppose it's winter is coming this week, isn't it? So that's why they're going to do that. But yeah, it does feel huge.
So good, so good.
Yeah,
Mox is in danger.
Oh, Swerve absolutely needs to win this match.
Yeah, I think so.
I can see them going to a time limit draw, but I think Swerve really needs to win this match, just to kind of keep that upward trajectory going.
It's like they've both got they both murdered Hangman. Now it's like now we must fight each other.
Yeah, but Swerve did what Mox couldn't: beat Hangman in Texas Death.
Well, Hangman hung Mox, and then Swerve hung Hangman.
Yeah, it's nice little poetry.
It is.
So now is Swerve to hang Mox, and the circles. Well, Mox to hang Swerve technically, but I'd rather have the other
Oh
round.
man, the internet! I promise you, the internet couldn't deal with that. Like it just couldn't. And by the internet, I mean me.
It's me. I'm the internet.
You and all of Tumblr.
I'm bitches.
So I'm gonna first off, I just want to give a shout out to my boy Roderick Strong for finally getting the use of his legs back.
It's a miracle.
Inspiring indeed. He's not gonna let that wheelchair be the result of him having a downward spiral. I was going to talk about Swerve and Mark Briscoe because I really enjoyed that match. However, I feel like it would be a miss if we didn't mention the interesting backstage segment between Hangman Page and MJF.
But we don't. I just want to say Swerve v Mark Briscoe was belt to belt one of the best matches in the Continental Classic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it was fucking excellent. It's a shame that Mark Briscoe was out the competition, but I think with Mark Briscoe, and I think they've done a good job with him and with Daniel Garcia in them holding their own in defeat and coming out looking really like strong in defeat. But yeah, let's talk about Hangman and MJF because this was sure as shit interesting, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
I think Hangman might be the devil.
Oh, okay. Well, later in the night there was like a glass bottle broken over MJF's head, wasn't there?
There was, and also Hangman was wearing all black, like the devil.
I love how there's just enough like little threads to link it to like several different people. Like they've done a really good job of like keeping people guessing.
Yeah, I feel like this Hangman and MJF thing was really kind of, it was so out of the left field that it would make sense if Hangman was the devil.
Would 100% make sense. I would love for this to happen.
Especially because obviously Hangman's kind of decline was sort of like a crossover point of like MJF's like rise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hangman lost the belt and then MJF started his rise.
Yeah.
And I think it was very the way this was like set out where it was MJF just giving Hangman shit and then Hangman was like full on like ready to fight MJF. It was very like interesting. Now, just with Hangman pointing out as well about how on Double or Nothing he eliminated MJF from the Battle Royal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hangman's worst declines as well are like with people who are friends with Adam Cole.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
he's
fighting Adam Cole's best friend next week, Roderick Strong. He's gonna crime the shit out of him. Hangman's fucking losing that, I reckon.
Oh,
I think it's more.
I can't wait for the spiral. I'm so excited for it.
I can't wait for Hangman to reveal himself as the leader of Aces and Eights. Was there anything else you guys wanted to?
I feel like before we call it a day, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Danielson versus Andrade, which was also fucking incredible.
Yeah.
If you ever want to see a man finger another man's eye, then that's the match for you.
What I loved was at the end, he was like, Andrade looked shocked that he brought himself to that. Like, he was like, I had to win.
Yeah, hitting them like really fucking awful running knees on like the back of Danielson's head.
I was fucking
Has any
grotty, that.
doubt whether Danielson's eye
It
has
was.
any problems?
I'm gonna go on a big shout. I think that was the best match Andrade's had since his one with Gargano.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
And it was.
Better than one with Pac?
It felt very similar thematically as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd say his
it was
ones with
very.
Pac were really good though, and his ones with the House of Black.
Yeah. Even the street fight you had with Cody, really good.
With the burning table.
Burning table for reasons.
Fire starter Brandy, because yes.
Yeah, because reasons. Also, big shout out to Orange Cassidy versus Angelico off Rampage with
That was very good.
with Littlehausen. Enjoyed Littlehausen.
Danhausen's daughter coming out. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was adorable.
Also, can we mention Final Battle, because we're getting the Jay Briscoe Honor for Jay match?
Yeah, I did actually get the card of that up just to kind of touch on. They've not announced much. They've only announced 5 matches so far.
Yeah, but the main event is going to be huge. I can't wait for that.
Well, shall I just run through the card real quick? So we've got the main event, the aforementioned main event, which is the ROH Women's World Championship, Athena versus Billy Starks, which has been going on for almost a year. This is going to be
the recap video is like 3 hours long, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go watch it. This is some of the best storytelling they've done in AEW for a long time. It's just a shame that it's been done on something that people don't really watch.
Where's the story, Jay? Where's the story?
It's in the 3-hour YouTube video, mate.
I refuse to watch it, but I want to know what the story is.
The story is
it's a bad faith argument, Jay. Don't worry about
it. Fuck up.
No, I'm so hyped for this. I think Billy has to win, and I really wanted to, because Athena's probably coming back to main roster, main AEW now, isn't she? So,
I think it's one of them. Athena's been teasing that she wants to win a Triple Crown, which what belt is she doing? She's just going to do all the belts.
Do you want an upsetting statistic?
Go on.
Yeah.
Billy Starks is younger than Ring of Honor.
Yeah, that's true.
Ring of Honor started in 2002. Billy Starks was born in 2006. Was it 2004? 2006.
That's fine.
Yeah. So let's go through everything else while you're trying to make us all feel
2004.
old. Yeah, that's sad.
Have we had a pure title match announcement yet?
No, not yet.
There's teased fighting Hook, hasn't he? With FT under
FTW rules.
We'll use the best Hook's FTW rules.
Yeah,
they haven't announced when that's happening.
It's not for the pure title, though, is it?
No, it's going to be a non-title match.
Yeah.
There's going to be Tony Nese versus Ethan Page in a night quit match. This has been going for quite some time.
This has also been building for a surprisingly long time, hasn't it? And Ethan Page is the massive face in this, which is also kind of odd.
Yeah. Keith Lee versus Shane Taylor in a grudge match, which again they've been building for fucking time. I know that's right up your street. The Jay Briscoe Memorial match, which is BCC's John Moxley, Bryan Danielson, and Claudio Castagnoli versus FTR and Mark Briscoe.
I love when this match got announced, everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to be Danielson, Claudio, and Yuta," and oh no, it's Moxley.
It would have actually made more sense for it to be Yuta though, because Mox hasn't ever been in ROH as far as I'm aware.
This is a Ring of Honor debut.
It's not not a TV debut. He has been in Ring of Honor though.
Fair enough. But yeah, this will be great. And also to crown the vacant Ring of Honor World Television Championship, they're bringing back the Survival of the Fittest 6-way match, which is essentially a 6-way elimination match. And it pretty stacked lineup, to be honest. It's Dalton Castle, Commander, Lee Johnson, Lee Moriarty, Kyle Fletcher, and To Be Determined.
What if it's Nigel?
Valley.
Don't give me hope. I'm gonna see if there's anything that's been announced on.
Because Nigel said, Brian Danielson said that Nigel's a potential for a match at All In, didn't he?
I think
I love what he said. He said there was talk about doing it last year, and he said, but we couldn't make it work. Obviously, he got injured. He said since then Nigel's been improving, and my health's gotten a bit worse, so it'd probably be a decent match now.
Brittle Brian Danielson,
Clam diggers.
Clam Digger Danielson. Yeah, it's just question marks. It doesn't say who it's going to be. So you'd assume it would be someone quite big, maybe in a return. Kyle O'Reilly's a good shout.
Kyle O'Reilly, yeah. Can we have two Kyles in the same match?
As Faye said, Kyle O'Reilly, who's definitely not one of the masked devil people.
No.
Who was like skulking around at ringside like only Kyle O'Reilly does.
like an actual goblin, man.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, knowing Tony Khan, he's probably just going to throw... I was going to say he's probably just going to throw Penta in that match.
What if it's Pac?
Shit. I need to go back and watch that. So apparently Commander qualified for that 6-man match by beating Gringo Loco.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, if you've got Honor Club, you just get it. By the way, you don't have to pay for it.
You're not?
Like, you don't pay additionally.
Yeah, it's actually streaming on Honor Club for once, which is fucking...
That's awesome.
About time.
Yeah. Thanks, Tony Khan.
Thanks a lot, Tony Khan. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Every time they do a Ring of Honor show, it's one of those things where I've kind of dropped off watching it live, even though I really enjoyed it.
Always better than it has any right to be, though.
Yeah.
The pay-per-views.
Yeah, the pay-per-views are always absolute fire. Yeah, I'm just trying to think who that TBD is going to be. I mean, they could add AR Fox, I suppose, couldn't they?
That'd be a bit of a... Yeah, I think it's got to be something that's going to pop the crowd.
Yeah, they're probably going to add more matches to this week as well. I'd
Yusa hasn't got a match yet.
No.
Yeah, but Yusa's a little shit. He doesn't need. But
yeah, Ring of Honor haven't missed on a pay-per-view in the last year or so, have they?
No. Every time they do a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, it's even if the build's shit, it ends up being fucking banging. So yeah, I'm extremely excited to see what happens with this.
Yeah.
Looking forward to getting home after work on Friday and staying up with a couple of beers.
Yeah,
I am going on a work night out, so that's what I'm going to watch when I get home.
Wrong Faye's going to be in the chat. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Awesome. Right. I think we're probably best to sign off. We've gone for nearly 2 hours. Like we need to
Wrestle of the week.
Wrestle of the week. Yeah, I'm going to pick Eddie Kingston, obviously, because he beat the piss out of Swiss.
Obviously.
Brian Danielson.
You're picking Brian Danielson over Daniel Garcia? Wow.
That's going to be so mad.
I thought you were a bad bitch.
You're just annoyed that I picked Braniel.
Not really. You know, I'm going to pick brand new atomic champion Tony Wright. Fuck you, Faye.
Yeah.
Oh.
You'd love to see it.
Weaponizing Tony Wright against you. I'll fucking go there.
How dare you? Speaking of local indie people, Christy Quinlan doesn't have a torn ACL.
Yeah.
Knee strong.
Christy Quinlan's just too hard to get injured. It's great. You'd love to see it.
Which means
I'm very gutted Pud didn't get the gear like Mark Briscoe's, though, with like a picture of Christy on.
I know.
Like he was saying he was going to on Wednesday.
On the upside, it means that we're probably going to get them in King of Trios.
Yes.
Isn't it? So.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped for that. Can't wait.
Because VGS didn't lose. They have fake Christy at Wrestle Island.
Right. On that note, I think we'll call it there. Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back next week. We're going to talk about Ring of Honor. We're all going to watch that and other bits and bobs. Yep. Yeah, wrestling never ends, does it? So Faye's
Ring of Honor.
Faye's going to find a way to go to another 4 indie shows. We'll talk about that. And yeah.
Ring of Honor. Winter is coming.
Wrestle Island.
Yeah.
Wrestle Island. Yeah.
Wrestle Island.
Faye's going to be going to as much wrestling as she can before she goes to Japan.
Don't forget more TNFaye.
And more TNFaye. I wish I could forget TNFaye. I wish I could forget it.
You just need to go to the Entail Sunshine of the Spotless Mind place and get your mind wiped. And then you can experience it all over again. It'd be great.
Oh, imagine experiencing a Kato for the first time again.
Oh God, I don't think I could. Right, on that note, we're going to call it there. We'll see you all next week. Take care and goodbye.
Bye.
Hello, yes, Danhausen here. Danhausen has been summoned. You must love this podcast housing, the Untitled Wrestling Podcast housing.